All right, I paid for her to say that, so thank you very much, Carla. I appreciate it. Okay, is the mic okay? Can you hear? Yes. Very good. All righty. Well, let's jump right in and talk about what we're here to talk about today. We definitely want to provide some value to agents and make sure that because 2023 was one of those weird years with the real estate, and a lot of agents are still thinking, oh, it's a bad market. The consumers are out there thinking, oh man, it's just a bad market. Interest rates are high. But that's not the way we look at it. That's not the way we should look at it. Would you agree? Let me explain why I say that. Because when you look at the market, although it's technically a seller's market because of the amount of inventory that we have, although it's technically a seller's market, it's not really that much of a seller's market because the advantage is to the buyers. Because a buyer can go show up right now and because there are not very many buyers out there. People that are buying, anyone's out there looking to buy right now, would you agree they need to buy or want to buy? Which would you say they are? They need to buy. Because most buyers are thinking it's a bad market. Interest rates are high. Maybe it's not a good time to buy. So if they're out there wanting to buy, they need to buy. And sellers, if someone's selling in what's perceived to be a bad market, which would they be? They need to sell or want to sell? They need to sell, right? So if you have a buyer as an agent and you show up at this property and they love it, they want it, they have a bit of an advantage because your buyers in this market can actually do a ridiculous offer on that property and get it, because it's not like it was a year ago where there was multiple offers and a listing stayed on the market for 1 or 2 days. It's a fantastic market that we're in, and we just need to get that in our heads and realize that this is a great time to be a realtor. This is a great time to have buyers. It's a great time to be selling a home. So I just really want to change the paradigm and the way we think about things today, because I want to help you look at this thing and help you get to where you want to be in this business called real estate. So let's talk about getting our journey to becoming a top producer. When you look at it, you got to ask yourself a question: what would qualify you as a top producer? Is it going to be the units, the amount of units that you sell? Maybe if you sold 12 or 24 or 50 units, would that qualify you as a top producer? Or maybe it's a certain income. You know you are a top producer if you're making a certain amount of money. So, and that's different for everybody. Some people, to them, it's based on the units they sell. And they say, well, I'm a top producer. Or I'm making 6 figures, high 6 figures, or low 7 figures, or whatever, and I'm a top producer. Well, let's look at that. And let's look at that in terms of what's real and where we are now. Can anybody tell me what is the average sales price in Sarasota or Manatee County? What's the average sales price? I'm gonna give a couple seconds and then I'm gonna answer myself.
450.
450? Actually, the average sales price, you're very close. The average sales price in Manatee County is about $560 for Manatee, $603 for Sarasota. That is the average sales price. If you have your calculators with you, I want you to think about this. If you had an average sales price home in Manatee County of $550,000 and your commission was 3%, so $550,000 times 3%. What would that commission be? Anyone with their calculator?
21,000.
21,000 on one transaction. An average home in Manatee County, you would make over $20,000. Now, what if you did that once a month? You did one sale a month. So 20,000 times 12 is what? Over 200,000, right? Not too bad. Now, if you made $250,000 a year, would you consider yourself a top producer? So you're a top producer if you do one average sale, an ordinary average sale in Manatee County, and you only closed on one of them per month. The reason why I bring this up, because I want to put it in perspective what it really takes to become a top producer. Because sometimes we as agents make it difficult for ourselves and we're thinking, oh, I got to do 80 transactions to really be a top producer. Not necessarily so. If your goal is just to provide a great income for your family of making $250,000 a year, you can do one transaction, one average transaction. Or what if it's not average, David? What if it's 400,000? I know, it's a less than average property, and you sold 400,000, 12 of them a year, one a month. That's still a great six-figure income. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So that's the different perspective I want you to look at it in this year. I don't want you to continue beating up yourself and looking at things in a way that, oh, it's too hard to reach. It's not that hard to reach. It is quite it's quite easy to make six figures in real estate by doing just one transaction a month. And there's a formula that's necessary on the amount of appointments you need to do to close on one per month. And we'll talk about that. All right. So let's move on to the next one. So what should we do then? What should I do to become a top producer? Well, the first thing you should do, you need to actually define your clients. Define what's your ideal client? And so to do that, you need to ask yourself some questions. Where am I going to do business? Is it going to be, is my ideal client a part of, and the niche that I want to work in, is it a geographic niche where I want to work in this particular subdivision or this particular zip code, or this particular city or county? You need to make some decisions so you can narrow your search on what you're trying to accomplish. Or maybe you may consider it's the way you select who you're going to do business. Maybe it has to do with the demographics. Could it be I want to work luxuries? That's a demographic. So I want to be in the luxury arena in real estate. Or I want to work with professional athletes. We have a lot of professional athletes in this area that live all around us. And if that's an area that you already have some experience in, some contacts in, or maybe it's entertainers or social media influencers, whatever the thing, you got to realize, what am I gifted in? Where do I have access, or where do I want to gain access? Because you may not say, I'm not in luxury, I don't have access to luxury clients now, but then I need to determine, how do I get access to luxury clients? I may not have access to military personnel, but I want to, or I'm former military, so that's the niche that I want to work in. Or I want to help first-time buyers. Or I'm an investor, so I love working with investors because I speak their language. I know investment, so those are my people. Investors, that's my joint right there. I love investors because I am one. So you got to kind of narrow it down and figure out, don't just be all over the place. Got to figure out what's going to be your niche. And then, or maybe your niche might be a certain property type. Maybe you're somebody who loves horses and you want to work with people who work in equestrian properties. Or maybe you're a beach person and that's the area that you want to work in, or you're not, but you want to work in that area. You want to farm that area. You want to work with expireds or for sale by owners. Or new construction is a niche. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
That is a specific niche. If you get really good and get very familiar with new construction, the builders, the on-site agents, their processes, their contracts, what's available, what's their price point. When I first got here and I didn't know anything, I visited every new construction. I created charts. Okay, this price point is in this neighborhood. Here are my agent contacts in this neighborhood. What do they build? So I created a chart of every neighborhood because I had to get to know what's going on. That was a niche that I was working in. And you can work in multiple. So you got to remember, that's important. Pick a niche, pick an area that you want to do business in. Just don't be a generalist, Because if you pick a niche, you will really focus more on getting that done. So remember, your business is your database, and knowing that just because you pick a luxury property type as that you want to work in, that doesn't mean you should exclude the people that's already in your current database. I feel like it was important for me to say that because you pick a niche, but your mom should still be in your database. Your sister should still be in your database. You should still contact them just like you do everybody else that's in that particular niche. Does this make sense? Yes. All right. All right, second thing, and we're only going to talk about 4. All right. The second thing is you have to determine how you're going to reach that niche. So how are you going to do that? So we're talking about lead generation, how to generate leads from that particular area that you want to do business in. So you've picked an income generating area that you want. This is the area that my income is going to come from, whether it's luxury or beach homes or whatever. And then you got to realize that you got to reach them. But you must never forget that this is a relationship business, that it's not just a prospecting business. People will do business with you because they know you, they like you, and they trust you, and they think you know what you're doing, right? They know you, they like you, they trust you, and they think you're competent in your area of service. So you have to know that. So you always add and show up, always add value and show up to your clients with great integrity. You got to have this. You can't be a dull, boring, negative Nancy kind of personality. You have to be that authentic, irresistible energy that people will feel like they have rapport with you. You are trustworthy. So because this is a relationship business, so if they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, and they think you're dumb, you don't know your business, you're probably not going to get their business. So you should develop those relationships with people by adding value to them, not be a taker, be someone that adds value to people. And I know right now I'm probably preaching to the choir because that is the way you approach your business, and that is the way it should be done. And of course, let your intentions be to love, serve, and protect your clients, because this is true. It says here, if you help enough people get what they want, then you'll get what you want as well. Would you agree with that? Yeah. If you help enough people do that, you'll get what you want as well. So let's talk about reaching your niche. Well, to do that, you need to select a minimum of 4 pillars of income. 4 pillars of income. And those are the 4 ways that you're going to reach out to that niche market of yours. So pick it. Now, I put some examples there of, open house or volunteering, hospitals, HOA, Van Wezel. There's tons of things you could volunteer for. You could join a business networking group like BMI, Toastmaster, the Chamber, or guess what, Wes? You can start one, right? Didn't we start one? So if you say, well, I don't know, there's no availability for me to join a BNI, then start one. Just start your own professional networking group. You can join a social or service group. Think about all the different social or service groups that are out there that would love for you to be a part of them. And you're going to meet people. You're going to meet people that you don't know. Because if you think that just the people that you know right now is enough to grow your business, that's not enough. You need to expand yourself a little bit. And to do that, you need to do something that's going to help you. So pick 4 things that you're going to do, not 8, because you won't do 8, and not 2, because that's not enough. 4 pillars of income, 4 income generating strategies to build your business. So you got to ask yourself, what is my four income generating strategy? And these are just samples. Take a class. What if you took a karate class? What if you took an art class? What if you took a tennis class? By taking classes, guess what you're going to meet? More people, right? You're going to meet people by taking a class. You're going to farm an area, farm the neighborhood you live in, farm the neighborhood you want to live in, but farm that area. The geographic farming is a great way to be in touch with people, but you have to then begin to connect with that community by serving that community and adding value to the people in that community. Does that make any sense? Yeah. Door knocking, don't look, that's not for everybody, but it is for some, and you should if it's for you. For sale by owners and expireds could be an area that someone specializes in. And of course, establishing a professional referral partners. Like who? Like financial planners, mortgage lenders, divorce attorneys, builders, CPAs, because these professional people are dealing with people that are always in flux. They're always moving. And when if you have someone, a builder that you have garnered a relationship with, or a financial planner, and when he's telling them, really the best thing for you to do is sell that house, an estate planner, and they call on you and you get the referral, and you also reciprocate by giving them referrals. But you need to establish some professional referral partners in your business, where they look to you as their go-to person, and you look to them as your go-to person in their arena. Does this make any sense? Yeah. Okay. All right. So remember, your net worth will be determined by your network. The network of people that you're in, the network of people that you associate with will affect your net worth. So we can talk about this, but if you don't do it, this is so important that you do. But pick 4 things that you're going to put in your columns. 4 income generating activities and strategies that you're going to use to help build your business. But you have to pick 4. And when you do, it's going to make it, and it's going to really take some effort. Now, you got to stay in flow with the people that you have in that niche market of yours. You have chosen the avenue that you're going to approach your business. You've figured out the 4 ways that you're going to reach these people. And now you have to stay in flow with them. That means you're staying in their lives. You're communicating with them weekly, monthly, yearly. You're actually adding value to them. You're calling, and you're not just calling just for nothing. You're calling with value. When you call, it's not a prospecting call. It's a relationship call. If you're calling and you smell like a salesperson and you have sales breath on you, nobody wants that. But if I call Wes and say, Wes, how you been? How's the job? Tell me about the family. And we're talking relationship with him. I'm not talking sales. I'm involved in his life. I'm in flow with him in his life. And like I remember what we said, that the 4 reasons why people do business with you: they know you, they like you, they trust you, and they think you're competent, right? Well, it takes relationship. It takes you building that rapport with them, spending time with them, and you're their go-to person, but you stay in top of mind by staying in flow with them. Because if you're not on top of mind with them, when they get ready to sell that house, they'll look at maybe the flyer that came in from the other agent that wasn't in flow. Oh, wow, they sent me something about what's going on in my neighborhood. Maybe I should talk to them about selling my house, because you weren't top of mind for them, because they never hear from you. But if they hear from you, and sometimes in your conversation, at the very end of your conversation, when you're doing those relationship calls, you might even say, oh, by the way, I'm a realtor, and if you ever know anyone looking to buy or sell a house, would you refer them to me? I say, sure, I will. Well, great. Do you know anyone like that right now? Oh, you don't? That's fine, but I appreciate that you knowing that I'm a realtor, and that if anyone ever comes up in your sphere and in your circle that's looking to purchase or sell a home, I appreciate you referring them to me. And that was probably the most you said about sales in that entire conversation. You talked about holidays and children and vacations and the job and playing golf. And it was relationship. And that's how they get to know you, like you, trust you, and realize you're competent, because you're adding value all along. You're sending them information about market reports. You're giving them, they get your newsletter. They get your magazines. When they have a question about real estate, guess who they ask first? Or you might even call them and say, you know what, I've had a lot of calls from clients and friends who ask me about what's going on in the market right now. So you know what, I thought maybe you might have a question too. So I wanted to call you and just kind of ask you, is there anything that's bothering you about this market, that anything I can answer a question for you? I mean, just like that. And now you're their expert. And is there anyone else other than me, wherever you go, whatever party you're at, the people always ask you, like me, what's going on in the market? Yeah. Everywhere I go, people ask me about the market. Everywhere I go, they want to know my opinion and what I think is going on. And so I have to be a good ambassador for my industry and give them the facts. And do you think I sound like the news when I say, oh, the sky is falling, it's terrible, it's a horrible market, interest rates are so high? You know, does anyone remember when interest rates were 12.5%? I do. I bought my first house at 12.5%, and I was pretty happy about it because it came down from 18. So when people don't like 6.5%, they have no idea what high interest rates really like. So we thought that anything below 10 was free money back then. And so it's different. So the mindset is different. CBS News years ago asked me to be a consultant with them, and I was every Tuesday morning during the recession. Every Tuesday morning, I was on TV, and they were interviewing me on the state of real estate in Atlanta. And they interviewed 5 other agents, but they chose me. The reason they chose me because I was the only one of the 5 agents who wasn't saying, "Oh, this is a terrible market." No, I was saying, "Man, real estate's on sale. It's a great time to buy real estate. You should buy 10." You know, because I would go on the program and say, look, here's a condo in Buckhead that you can get for $79,000 that used to be $400,000. And so that was a different perspective. My attitude was different than most agents. And you've got to be that way. You've got to be the agent that's a good ambassador that you have to control the narrative. Don't let the media or other people control the narrative. This is your business. And so controlling that narrative and giving them the truth, and because they look at things that, oh, that's really bad. No, you can buy the house today at a really good deal. You can make a ridiculous offer on that house with the market being the way it is and so few buyers are out there. You're by yourself out there looking. It's just me and you. Everybody else has put their head in the sand and they're scared. They think it's a terrible market. You and I, we're out there looking at properties. And we're going to buy, and then what? We're not going to give them what they asked for. This is amazing. Don't you love this? You get to buy something. So the attitude, right? And I mean a good one, not the bad one. All right. So how are you going to stay in flow with them? What are you going to call them? You know, what do I have to talk about? Well, if I got a phone call from Blake, and Blake called me and said, "Hey, David, I just want to give you a call because I thought about you today. You on my mind. I just want to check in on you. How you doing, brother?" I'm like, I love him even more because he called me and said, "You were on my mind, and I just want to give you a call and check in on you, see how you're doing." That is a great way to just talk to people like you genuinely care, because you should care, or you're in the wrong business. You know, have that genuine concern for people. And so don't say, "I don't have a reason to call." You do. Check up on them. There are people that you haven't spoken with since COVID. You don't know if they've passed away or not. You know what? I feel so bad. I haven't talked to you since 2019. I just want to check on you. You crossed my mind. I really feel bad we hadn't spoke. And you know, you're going to make their day with that phone call. And just be in relationship with them. Don't have sales breath. Don't come across as a salesperson just be there for them. Listen, add value to their lives. That's how you build rapport. Am I right? Yeah. All right. So you got to call them. You got to set up an email campaign that you're feeding them good information. You're adding values in the email that every brokerage should have that, where you can establish a good email campaign. So you've got it now. You may not be using it, but you've got it. If your broker heard you say that, they're like, yes, we have it. You just don't use it. It's there. Video text them. Just a quick hey. Just say, hey, I just thought about you. Just wanted to say hi. How you been? Call me back whenever you get a chance. Look at this great weather. Done. Anything. Because it's video, they will actually watch it. And it took you all of 15 seconds to send somebody a nice video that says, hey, I care about you. And that is your job. My job in life and my purpose in life boils down to one word. One word. My job and my purpose in life, I was made by the Creator, by God, for one purpose. It is to influence. That is your purpose as well. You know, and whether you claim it or not, you're trying to influence your spouse. You're trying to influence your children. You're trying to influence your neighbors. You're trying to influence your boss. You're trying to influence me. All that you're trying to do in life is to influence. And so I realize that is why God created me. I am here for a purpose, to influence people for His purpose and for good. And so if your job and your purpose is to be is to influence people, then let that power be for good. Do something good in their life. Influence them for good. Improve their lives financially with real estate. Improve their lives spiritually with the gospel. Whatever. That's what I believe. You may not believe that, but I do. But definitely use these things. Face-to-face meetings. That means you should be having coffee. Hey, let's have coffee. Let's play golf. Let's have lunch. Or I'm having a party. I want you to come. I'm not having a party. I just want you to come by. We're going to have, we're cooking some chili. Want some? Come on over. It'd be great to have you. Any excuse to be around people. And listen, you're being talked to right now by an introvert that you can't tell is an introvert. But I am. But I don't let that introvert personality type thing just rule and reign over my life. Because that's not why I was created. I was created to influence people for good. And you were too. Say amen. I'm sorry. Wrong audience. Handwritten notes, direct mail. I have a magazine, holiday cards, invitations, parties, lunches, client appreciation events that you sponsor. That you put on, even if it's small. Say, I don't have a nice home, I can't invite people to my home. Well, just take them to lunch. Do something at another venue, somewhere that doesn't cost you anything. Go to Yard House, go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse during the happy hour. Don't go to the regular. You only go during the happy hour, because then it'd be too much, right? All right. So but it's going to take a concentrated effort on your part. You're going to have to get out of yourself. You have to get out of what you feel is comfortable. What is my norm? I could say this is my norm. I'm an introvert, so I don't get power from being around crowds. An outgoing person does. They're like, hey, look at me. I'm not that. I want to sit in the back. I want to sit in the corner, in the dark, in the booth by myself. But I don't do that. Because that doesn't help anybody. Doesn't help the public. And I'm here to influence your life. I'm here to influence your life. I'm here to influence as many lives as I possibly. That when I shut my eyes and I go and see my Savior, that I've done everything that I should have done, and to properly have a good influence on people's lives, both spiritually and physically. So, after you've picked your four areas of income, your 4 pillars, you need to commit to time blocking for those 4 areas of activity. You got to commit to it. Reason why time blocking is so important is because you have to write it down and put it on your calendar, because the truth that's up there says, if it's not on your calendar, it does not what? Exist. If you don't have it written down on your calendar, it doesn't exist. That's just a wish. That's not something that you're actually participating and doing. So you have to time block your calendar where a certain part of your day, this is what you will be doing. Now, you may need to move it at certain time, but you still need to do that. Now, you need a boilerplate and uninterrupted 3-hour workday on your calendar. If I told you that you could make 6 figures a year, working 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day versus 8 hours a day at your regular job that makes 60. Your regular job pays you 60, and the average American don't even make 60, probably 45, something like that. The average American makes 45. But if you do 40 hours at a job, and then you do 3 hours a day in your real estate business doing income generating activities, that will net you your 6-figure income. But you have to commit to that. It's an uninterrupted 3 hours. Now you can do it in three different segments. You can do, I did an hour from 9 to 10, then I did another hour from 12 to 1, then another hour because of your schedule. Sometimes you can't put all 3 hours together, and I get that. But you still need to commit to time blocking that. There's got to be 3 hours during every weekday that I am working on my business to generate income, or else just call what you're doing is a hobby business. It's not really a business. Am I making any sense? So it's important that you do that. So you got to just make the calls and ask for referrals. You got to make those relationship calls, because that's what I call them. I don't call when I call people, I don't call it a prospecting call. It's a relationship call. Maybe you need to change your narrative and stop calling it, well, I'm prospecting. Well, maybe that's why. Because who wants to prospect? But I want to be his friend. I want to know more about his life. I want to know more about your life. I want us to do life together. I want to have an influence on your life, because I know that that's what I'm called to do. And so I got to make the calls, and at some point I got to ask for referrals. So you got to commit to time blocking. And then fourthly, and as we get close to an end, you have to commit to having an accountability partner or coach. Because the truth is, you really just can't do it by yourself at the highest level. By yourself, you can only go so far. An accountability partner should pick somebody that is not in your local market. That way, you can also give them referrals. So pick an accountability partner that is outside of your local market. Maybe someone that lives in Venice. Maybe someone that lives in Fort Lauderdale. Maybe someone that lives in Atlanta. Why? Because you're going to have clients that may need to do business or sell a property or buy a property in the Atlanta market. It'd be great if it's your referral partner, because you and that person are doing life together. So so that referral partner would be great if you could have a referral partner that's outside of your market, a little further away. And it'd be good if this referral partner is maybe just one step ahead of you, maybe a little more. But you would call and talk to that agent and say, I would love for you and I to work together and for us to be accountability partners. Because I think that I can add value to you and you can add value to me, and we're a real logical choice, because I can I can send you referrals, and when you need people, you have people that are looking for property in my area, I can be your person in this area, and we'll spend some time together. So that means you may want to schedule a Zoom call with them every 2 weeks or so, where you can just talk about what's working, what's not working. Talk about what you committed to do, and be honest with that person that I'm doing it or I'm not doing it. And let that person, if they have your best interest in heart, they will tell you, now you committed to do it, and you can hold them to their commitment as well. Or you can also choose the route of getting a coach. A good coach can help you surpass what you thought you were capable of. If you've ever played sports, you'll know that a good coach will help you actualize and get to a higher level than you were getting on your own. When I used to work out on my own, I got to a certain level. And when I hired a personal trainer, it got better. And it's the same thing when you get a coach, a real estate coach, to help you grow your business, and will give you the tools that you need and hold you accountable at the same time. It will help you take your business to the very next level. There's an old proverb that says that if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, you should go with others. Don't go by yourself. Go together. So you should definitely commit to that. Don't just say, yeah, I know, I'm not going to do it though. It's going to help you. I'm talking about how to become a top producer. You'll become a top producer if somebody's helping you hold you accountable. It could be your spouse. It could be your best friend, but it could also be someone outside of your market who's also in the same industry that would hold you accountable, or definitely a coach. Write that down, coachpipes.com. He coached me. Great coach. You should try him. Bill Pipes. Workmansuccess.com. Vero Workman. I've been in their coaching as well multiple times. Great coaches. And the me there is me. I'm a coach. So definitely there are others. There's so many real estate good coaches out there. Find one, pick one, use one. But definitely, you should definitely do the thing, because a coach will guide you to achieve your goals. Now, remember the law of the inner circle? Your success is determined by the people with whom you are closest. Now, you actually believe that, because you always, when you talk to your kids, you ask them, so tell me about your friends. I did. I had 4 kids, and I would ask them about who they're hanging around with, who the kids are. Tell me about the kids. All right. And they would tell me about him. So you believe that who your children hang around with will influence whether or not they're successful at school or in life. So you believe it. But the trouble is, you just believe it for the kids. You got to believe it for yourself, because it's true for us as well, not just our children. Am I right? Yeah. It really is. So be careful. Pick your inner circle and the people that you associate with quite well. Okay, now some resources. All right, you can obtain all kinds of homeowner data information from IMAP. There's so many ways you can search for data just using the resources that you already have that's available to you through this board. Just go to IMAP and you can search on you can find out who owns the property. Do they live there? Is it vacant? Are they, is it a rental property? You can find all that stuff out and target your marketing based on that. You can identify for sale by owners and expireds and non-owner occupied properties and zip codes. You can use the MLS and IMAP for all of that kind of stuff. You can add your new every time you're adding to your database, because remember, your database is your business, right? The people you have, that is your business. That's why you're trying to always expand and get it bigger. So add them to your Facebook. That way you can drop information to them and advertise to them as you're doing more things, your open houses or whatever you're doing, your listings, the things that you closed on. add them to your Facebook feed, and align yourself with a lender. If one of the areas that you're going to use is open houses, well, align yourself with a good lender. Do we have any lenders in the house? I think we have one right there. There you go. Align yourself with a good lender that will help you with your open house campaigns to reach more clients. And if you do that strategically well, and if you're there with a lender, you seem more credible than if you're standing there all by your lonesome, terrified that somebody's actually going to show up. You're better off if you have somebody else with you. Why not have a good lender? Maybe even a good mover. Who knows? Try that. No one's ever tried that, Blake.
Oh, they tried it.
See, they should try it. So definitely align yourself with somebody else to be with you at that open house. Now, so your journey to be a top producer, it starts right now. That's our subject for today, and you are here for a reason. So if you do those things, if you pick the right niche, and if you pick 4 ways that you're going to communicate with them, pick 4 areas that you're going to just keep in flow with them, you do those things and you commit to making those phone calls and commit to being in flow with them, and you commit to having an accountability partner because this is something that you decide to do, you do that and you will make 1 sale a month. But an average sale, you'd still make 6 figures to a quarter of $1,000,000 in this area. Now, everybody can't say that. I know people in some of these states up north where their average sales are, 120. Kansas, yes. There are places like that where their average sales are not as great as yours. The average sale here in Sarasota is 603. That's average. So, if you do that, just start doing it. I promise you, I can say I promise you, if you do those things, you minimally make 1 sale a month. 1 sale a month for 12 months will give you 6 figures. By the second year, if you continue to do that, you'll be getting more referrals, you'll be getting better, your numbers will get better because you have ratios. Right now, you're making 100 calls to make 1 appointment. You say, I'm making 100 calls. Yeah, 20 calls a day, 5 days a week, 100 calls. Relationship calls. So, David, I don't know that many people. I'm not in relationship with that many. Well, you should. Get to the point where you are rotating through 100 people a week. I started in this business 20 years ago, and I had 240-something names in my phone. 240-something names. I'm not exaggerating when I don't even like telling people how many people is in my phone now. It's over 30,000 names in my phone. Okay? It's stupid. So I'm saying I intentionally made lots of contacts over the past 20 years, right? Now, some of them, a lot of them are in Atlanta and Georgia, and a lot of them are here. But that's the point. I'm reaching and more deals. After a while, you'll be doing you'll be doing 2 sales a month, 24 sales a year. By your 3rd year, you'll be doing 3 sales a month, making high 6 figures. You're a top producer. You're a top producer if you make 6 figures. Would you agree? Yes. I think so. So, as I conclude, I want you to realize that this statement is true right here at the very bottom. That whatever you want in life that you don't already have exists outside of your comfort zone. You cannot stay in your comfort zone and get and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Does that make sense? If you stay in your lane, in your comfort zone, this is where I'm comfortable, then we may never talk to anybody. We may never influence anybody because we live in fear and we live in what's comfortable. But if we learn to step out of our comfort zone and do take those 4 simple steps that we talked about today and commit to it. Commit to to staying in flow with them. Commit to having an accountability partner or a coach. Find those 4 pillars of income that you're going to use and stick with it. I promise you, you'll be a top producer in year 1, because 1 average sale in this area will make you a top producer. And you can feel, hey, I'm a top producer. I'm gonna say I made 1 sale this month, and that's great, because 1 sale you've outsold 80% of the agents in the area. 1 sale a month. Can we all commit to this? Yes. I'm proud of you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I applaud you.
Awesome job, David.
Thank you.
First of all, let's go ahead and give him one more round of applause.